Hello, everyone, and welcome in. Happy Monday. Today is Monday, March 19th. So this is actually the first day the sun has entered Aries. So we are kicking off Aries season, and we're going to take a look at the energy for the collective in general. We have Four of Swords in reverse flip out there. We're taking a look at the energy of the collective in general. And then we will take a look sign grouping by sign grouping and see what all messages want to come through for you for today. So let's jump right in and see what we've got. We have got Four of Wands, King of Pentacles in reverse, and the Two of Wands in reverse, as well as that Four of Swords in reverse. So this is the jumper energy was kind of this like exhaustion, breakdown, like, just overwhelmed type of energy. Four of Wands, and if you're on a twin flame journey, this is usually a twin flame card because you have the 1111 here. So that's about harmony and domestic bliss, like that everything is all good. Things are sitting pretty. Their King of Pentacles energy in reverse is going to be some of this financial irresponsibility, a little bit of like this energy of exploiting other people, maybe an abuse of power type of energy. And then we also have our Two of Wands in reverse, which is like you're avoiding making changes and you're failing to plan. So kind of as we have all of those energies and how do they weave together, we'll take a look at how they weave together for the individual sign groupings, and we'll pull some oracle cards for each of them. With today being the first day of Aries, or sun moving into Aries, let's go ahead and see what all energies we have for our fire signs for today. That will be our Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. And the energy we have is strength. So you're being called to just have some strength as you move through this situation. So whatever it is, you're resisting that change. Like there's this indecision that kind of keeps still hanging out there, and it's causing you to sit in this energy of being exploitative and abusing your power. And it's like you kind of know, it's almost this sense of you're not making a decision because you know that nobody else is going to make the decision. So it's almost like, you know what, if I don't have to deal with it, I'm not going to deal with it. But you are being called, because it's exhausting sitting in this, I don't know, I'm not sure. And there's a little bit of this sense of you don't want to disrupt the apple cart. Like if things aren't bad at home, like you don't want to disrupt the apple cart, but you do know that there's some decision that needs to be made. So let's pull a few other cards, since the strength card is not particularly indicative of what needs to happen. Does that mean just keep the path or have the strength to make that decision? So what else do our fire signs need to know for today? We have the 10 of Wands in reverse, the Hierophant, and the Page of Swords in reverse. So there's this cynicism, and you're feeling like you're being manipulated, and it's like you're stuck in a traditional structure. So the Hierophant is about these traditional structures, and you're at this point though of being like burned out of being in this traditional structure. You're feeling like you're being manipulated. So I think the strength card for you is breaking out of that box. Now remember, the energy of Aries, like with the sun moving into Aries, it's about taking action. It's about being bold and decisive. And especially with the North Node being in Aries right now as well for the next, I'll call it like 10 months or so, it's about standing in your truth and being unapologetically you. So if whatever this traditional structure is not you, like get out of it, because you feel like you're being manipulated into staying in that structure, and all it's doing is leaving you feeling burned out, leaving you feeling exhausted, leaving you feeling manipulated, and like, well, what decision can I make? But the part that's out there is this Four of Wands energy. Like that's what the strength card is calling you to move towards. So let's see what other messages want to come through here. Your dreams need a practical plan. So if you're feeling like, you're being manipulated here and you want to try to get out of it, you need a practical plan for how are you going to get out of it. Just waiting and hoping that something's going to change isn't going to get it done. You need to start thinking about a practical plan. Start thinking about what are you going to do to change this situation that's making you feel burned out and stressed and unhappy. Maeve, cycles and rhythms. Honor the cycles of your body, energy levels, and emotions. So with this is also a reminder that life goes in cycles. So like endings, it's not that, oh my gosh, your entire life is a failure. Your life is going to go in cycles of beginnings and endings and beginnings and endings, and things have a normal pattern to them. And so, it could be that you're burned out because you've stayed in whatever cycle for a little bit too long. Ending this will bring you peace. So whatever this cycle is that is causing you to feel like you're being manipulated, that's causing you to feel like you're being exploited and like totally burned out, whatever this traditional structure is that's causing that, which, for a lot of you, that could be, and I'll call it an unfulfilling marriage, one that's making you unhappy. Ending it is going to bring you peace. It could be a very traditional job and you want to move into something more creative, more soulful, more passionate for you. And you're in a very traditional job, you're a banker or, whatever. Ending that will bring you peace. So that is the message for our fire signs for today. All right. Next, let's move on to our earth signs and see what messages want to come through for you. Oh, 1 second. Apparently I need to clear out some space on my computer. Okay, so on to our earth signs. Let's take a look at what messages are wanting to come through for you for today. Strength card for you as well. So this came up for our fire signs. So it could be a situation where you are connected to a fire sign, and the strength is to break free of these patterns, because if it's a relationship with a fire sign, this sense of feeling just exhausted and defeated and just burned out and feeling this sense of indecision of what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? You need to get to a place of having the strength to say, all right, something needs to change. These patterns can't continue. So I pulled some extra cards for fire signs. Pull a couple here. 2 of Pentacles, 10 of Cups, and Queen of Swords in reverse. So this is that balancing decisions, and like you're juggling these kind of split loyalties of what do I do? There's this energy of, you want to be happy, but right now it's just this cynicism, this bluntness, this manipulation, like your Queen of Swords in reverse has like this bitter, just cruel energy. So it's definitely this toxic swirl that's going on in this relationship. So, the reading for our fire signs was needing to have the strength to walk away from these toxic situations. And I think especially with the Libra lunar eclipse happening next week, so that's on Monday, there's going to be a lot of push for that. It's a lot of focus on relationships and just ending ones that aren't feeling balanced, ending ones that aren't serving your higher good anymore, and the ones where the connection doesn't feel good. So your commitment is being tested. So this isn't necessarily, you can read this card one of 2 ways. It's not that your commitment to your relationship is being tested. I mean, I guess on one hand it is, but if it's making you deeply unhappy, because you have a couple of 2s in here, and with it kind of that sense of, oh, I have to make this decision. What do I do? If it's been making you deeply unhappy, the commitment part is, are you committed to living a life true to yourself? Are you committed to standing up for what it is that you want in life? Or are you just going to keep, doing what you've always done because that's what you've always done? So goddess card is Unag. Easy does it. There is no need to hurry or force things to happen. Everything is occurring in perfect timing. So some of it's a matter of, you do need to make a decision. But this one, and maybe this has been a decision that's been hanging out there for a long time, but things will naturally go in the direction that they're supposed to go. So it's a matter of having the strength not to have a knee-jerk reaction to fight for something if you don't really want that. So for you, the message is give it another chance. So it could be that, there is this happiness that's trying to come in for you. So keep an open mind, and see where that takes you. So, all right, that was the message for earth signs. Now let's move on to our water signs. And that is going to be our Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Let's see what is coming up for you. The Star. So this is that card about hope and optimism. So when we put this together with this sense of like indecision and you're just burned out and all of that heavy energy, your optimism is there's glimmers of this happy future ahead for you. So it's a matter of how do you lean into that, and how do you move more towards that energy of wanting to have those blessings? How do you move yourself out of that burnout energy? All right. We have bring love into the situation. So that is how you that is how you move yourself out of that. So let's see what other message wants to come through. We have our Goddess card. Vesta, home. Your household situation is improving either through a move or a healthy change in the occupants. So if you're feeling like you're just totally burned out and things are just so heavy, things are going to be improving on the home front, which that's kind of, this Four of Wands is domestic bliss. So the whole comment here about through a healthy change in the occupants, that can either be a matter of that people are making different choices. So a healthy change, like not that the occupants themselves are leaving the house, but maybe a healthy change within those occupants. Like how do you bring a lighter sense into the home? How do you work on clearing out some of the stress? So the Jumper card here was try a new hobby. And then your guides are listening. So try a new hobby, I feel like goes really well with the greens in here. And so that could be a different way to connect with people in your home, bringing some lightness into it. And then your guides are listening about how do you create this happier home. So if you're asking for help, if you're asking for guidance, that will help bring you some relief as well. All right, last but not least, let's move on to our air signs. So that is going to be our Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. And let's see what messages want to come through for you. All right. The Magician. So this is about transforming that heavy energy, transforming lead into gold, and being able to move through, you have this heavy energy out here, this burnout, this sense of defeat. How do you take that and turn it into your Four of Wands energy? So you can do it. You have the ability to do it. It's just a matter of tapping into that willpower, that energy, whatever you want to call it, to be able to make that change. So then you have this one, a new romantic cycle begins. And this is new moon in Libra. So we have that Libra lunar eclipse. So during that time, what will happen is we're going to have the full moon. And then with the eclipse part, it turns into a new moon, and then it turns back into a full moon. So this is very much a period about releasing things that are no longer serving you, and especially as it relates to relationships. What relationships, whether it's friendships, family dynamics, romantic relationships, work relationships, which ones are not feeding you, which ones which connections leave you feeling drained or bad or negative. And those are the ones where you have to start asking yourself those tough questions of, why do I continue to put myself in this situation? Why do I continue to energetically engage with that person who's not balanced, who's not energetically reciprocating? And so there's a difference in saying, okay, well, oh, I did 3 nice things for them, they only did 1 nice thing for me. There's that sort of reciprocating, but there's also the energetic reciprocation. So that goes beyond, well, I took out the trash and did the dishes. How come you didn't, whatever, mow the lawn? Like it goes beyond that sort of tit for tat exchange. It energetically, you can feel when you're the one that's bringing all the energy and the other person's just like, yeah, whatever. So let's take a look then at our goddess card. Mawu, Mother Earth. You are called upon to help with environmentalism. So some of this is having more of your focus on the bigger picture world around you, rather than kind of having your blinders on of, this is my world, this is my existence, this is my situation. Looking at how do you contribute. So there, environmentalism, so you have the actual physical environment, but also think about it from the perspective of shamans and healers and light workers, in terms of changing the overall environment of the energy of the world. And that might sound very grandiose, but even if it's just helping out some people in your community, close friends, could be doing something online and being able to help raise people's vibration, that is also helping the earth as well. And then this card was, whatever the present moment contains, accept it as if you'd chosen it. And that was an Eckhart Tolle quote that I thought was really interesting in terms of being present and being mindful, because all of your decisions that you've made and situations that you've been in have led to you being where you are right now. So to some extent, whether you affirmatively chose it or whether you chose it by ignoring making other choices, the moment that you're in right now, you've chosen it. Either, I'll call it assertively or passively chosen it. So lean into this moment. What is it that you need to learn? What is it like? What are your takeaways? And kind of going from there. So I hope that you found today's message to be helpful. As always, take only what resonates and leave the rest behind. There will be some additional special readings coming up for the eclipse. I'll be doing also some Is This Your Person, some twin flame readings, things like that. So make sure to hit the subscribe and notification bell if you want to be alerted as to when those post. Otherwise, I wish you peace and joy along your journey. Until next time.